Good evening. It's Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm Dominic Izzo. I'm a retired police officer from up here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. This is my YouTube channel, Officer Dominic Izzo, and this is Changing Cop Culture, Cop Talk Live, if you will. We do this every Wednesday live, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. I'm making it easy for you guys so you don't have to Google search, even though we live in a day and age where it's like, man, what the hell? Just do the search for the love of God. Yeah, this channel is pro-law enforcement. Regardless of whatever you hear come out of my mouth, it's pro-law enforcement. I want to see cops do better. I do believe the system, the entire system, is corrupt. I do believe that it's no longer a few bad apples, that the entire mother effing orchard is rotten. But how can I love law enforcement if that's the case? Because I come from a background where negative reinforcement actually fuels me. I am the kind of guy that if you sit there, if I go on a weight loss journey and I'm like, man, I got to lose 20 pounds. And you're like, and you're somebody who wants to support me and you go, I believe in you. I believe you're just so special. I believe. I'm going to be like this. What are you doing? What are you doing? But if you're like, dude, you're a fat piece of shit and I don't even know why you're bothered trying, that's going to make me respond better. So my methodology, because I've been asked, how can I lump all cops in one basket? How can I sit there and say all cops are bad? Because the entire system it's broken. It's horrible. We have 5.5 weeks until 2025 is here, and we still have cops who do not know what the First Amendment rights are on a traffic stop. We still have cops who sit there and use clearly excessive force. We have cops who can't control their emotions. We still have female cops. I am, sadly, blanket statement, 100% anti-female street cop. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's how it goes. So, and again, I don't look for pure agreeance. I look for sparking of conversations because I want to bring the problems to the forefront, which the rest of America who is pro-police apparently doesn't like the problems addressed. I get asked all the time, why do you put so many negative videos out there? Can't you show the positive? Because the positive is their job. And the fact that we still have a never-ending supply of negative videos is why we have to put them out there. So I don't have the answers. I just have the direct solutions. My answers are extreme, right? Get rid of qualified immunity, raise the minimum age to law enforcement to 30 only, no females, carry individual insurance policies, be licensed, not certified, among many other things. Those are some of my core beliefs in changing the industry. But I'm hoping that my content, good, bad, or indifferent, sparks some conversations for people out there to go, yeah, this is how we solve this. Because I truly believe that smarter brains than mine will prevail. And we can have these conversations together. Supporting the channel is easy. You can buy a copy of my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. It's available at Amazon. It's bywordsmatterpublishing.com. There's a link in the bottom in the description of this video. There's also a PayPal. We are 100%. All the work I do is 100% funded by you. Period. YouTube shadow bans or puts the 18 restricted plus on 90% of my videos because of the content that I'm putting out and addressing. So if you feel like supporting, which we'd love, there's a PayPal. It's Cop Talk Live at PayPal. You can go ahead and wind up supporting and funding the channel. Also, I want to grow this. I agree with you guys. This channel specifically, where the stuff I'm calling out, this should be in the millions of viewers, millions of subscribers, period. But that's on you to help out. Share the content, put it out there, even if you can't stand what I'm saying. Great, I appreciate that, but share. Also, 708, if you're watching the video, if you look at the bottom, it says call or text 708-982-0974. We do take live calls on Wednesday nights. After the first part of this, I do play your voicemails when I get them. I play them in other videos if you're asking me questions on stuff. So if you have a statement, if you have a question, you can call, leave a voicemail, leave a voice note at 708-982-0974. You can leave a text message. You can leave an email at officerdominicizzo@gmail.com. Or if you want to speak live, or if you missed it, you're watching this, you're like, man, I want to talk live, send me a text, and I will call you live during the next recording of this, and we'll have a conversation of it. So first things first, let's listen to some of your guys' voicemails and I appreciate you submitting them. I really take the time out. I appreciate them. Let me put it that way. Let's listen to what you guys have to say.
Hello there. This is Jack Hamilton. I just want to call and just say I appreciate your videos and your views and what you're doing out there. You know, I'm a disabled veteran. I'm 54 years old with a traumatic brain injury. I used to live in Chicago. You know, I grew up there, came back there after the Navy. I never had any problems with the law. I mean, you know, it wasn't perfect, but I never got arrested, no problems, you know. And my neighbors, I used to live in Aldine up in Wrigley, and my neighbors, they had a dog, and their little dog bit me twice, and they laughed about it. They literally laughed about it. And I called animal control, and they went off on me. Their son-in-law was a Chicago cop. They put me under false arrest 3 times. The cops beat the fucking shit out of me. They did everything to get me illegally evicted. And it was a nightmare. And the fucking lawyers are the worst. They just steal your money. I mean, the lawyers are worse than the Chicago cops, you know. And one time I was wrongfully convicted. They said that I threw shit or whatever around the cop's car. He has 2 Mercedes. He also lived on the block, but further away from me. And I mean, it was just a total nightmare. These people were totally destroying my life. And even though, you know, at the time, I don't know, I was 48 or 49 years old, I never.
I got that. You cut out with your voicemail. I appreciate that. I empathize that. And actually, Chicago police is a good example of what he's talking about, because I only have your word for this, right? I mean, that's it. And yeah, you got falsely arrested. We hear it all the time. Here's the problem. Now, remember, I actually think that the totality of cops are represented by the average. And here's where Chicago doesn't do them any favors. On the whole, generalization, I can't stand fucking Chicago police officers. They're some of the biggest egomaniacs on the planet who thinks that nothing applies to fucking them. You have a greater chance of getting hit by a Chicago squad car, not even driving lights and sirens, driving regularly. They have no regard for fucking traffic laws whatsoever. I pulled over 2 in my life, and both time I fucking pull them over all the way up in my neck of the woods. These motherfuckers have their badge out the window like it's supposed to be some kind of fucking favor before I even get there. It's like, okay, I don't give a shit who you are. Their arrogance is insane. Many of them, if not most of them, are fucking slobs. You see them. Now, remember, I do believe that there's an image for law enforcement, and I'm kind of anal retentive in it. Your uniform's got to be ironed, got to be tailored. Your boots got to be fucking shined. I don't give a shit if you worked a 19-hour shift the day before. Shine your fucking boots. It's a pride issue. Have I been in those spots where I'm like, I'm too tired to shine? Of course I am. Again, generalizing. Most of CPD, dude, one of my biggest pet peeves if you're a cop, if you work day shift or afternoons and you're a squad car and you're driving, a driver or passenger, if you're a 2-man car, and your arm is resting out the window, you look like trash. It looks like you don't care. It looks like you are lackadaisically just driving around, whatever, and it's all perception. And don't forget, dude, people are looking for any reason to mock or destroy you, right? People are miserable. People are just, they're busy shit bodies who have nothing better to do than look for reason to get you in trouble as a cop. Doesn't matter what it is. You could hold the door open for somebody and not say, how are you? And that scumbag Karen will look to call your department head just to complain. So why make it easy for them? CPD, overweight, fat slobs, they smoke in their squads. It's very easy to find them sleeping. I mean, shit. You just, well, where was I on State Street once? Not a couple of years ago. And just one sawing logs in the passenger side seat at fucking 11 o'clock at night. And their attitude sucks. So, and I'm shitting on them. And I really don't care that one of them just was murdered the other day. I'm not going to take it easy on them. The sun still rises and sets and the world goes on. But when it's like this, yeah, these bigger city cops, when he says that, you know, they mocked him and they came up with a reason to charge him and this and that, I believe him 100%. I know how it goes. So one of the biggest problems that we have when it comes down to law enforcement is the perception. And sadly, most of the bootlickers out there perceive only NYPD, CPD, LA Sheriff's Department, Vegas Metro Police. They're the ones that are like, that's the standard for law enforcement. When 90% of cops out there are suburban municipal police officers, and they do more than those bigger departments. You know, Chicago slaps the cuffs on somebody else drives them away, somebody else books them and processes them, somebody else interviews them. Suburban cops from start to finish do all the fucking work. I'm talking from all the way from take the call, arrest, process, call county, run it past the state's attorney, write up the report, you name it. It's ridiculous from start to finish. So I know I'm getting a little bit long-winded, but I get the point is what he's saying. And that's I turned his call into a shit on Chicago police, but it is what it is. I would like to see them more than anyone actually step up to the plate. I said, you want to fix the problem with CPD? You get rid of all those guys and you stick Illinois State Police right in. Illinois State Police and suburban cops. My generation of suburban cops. I don't know about this new fucking generation. But let's hear another voicemail here.
Hi, my name is Teresa. I'm calling from California. The only thing I really have a problem with is how America has really changed. For one, the reality is that there are good cops and there are bad ones. I think both of those cops weren't the best that they could have.
This was in reply to the video I covered last week. There was a comparison. If you haven't seen it, go watch the last week live of the 70-year-old man that was taken into custody and hit his head on the way down. And I compared that to the Florida minor that was also taken into custody after the cop who was smiling and thought it was a joke took him into custody. So I compared those two side by side, asking why the public supports one, the minor, and then why they condemn the other, the old man.
Don't live up to the badge that they're wearing. Absolutely, they don't. One, he's an old man. Was he really a threat to him? Whether he stepped to him or not, that is just, it's just disturbing just looking at it. Obviously, if he got in a car accident, he's probably too old to drive for one. He's got on some fit glasses. I mean, it shouldn't have happened like that. I mean, he was no threat. He took him down like, I don't know, like he was cattle, basically. And as far as the little boy is concerned, one with the big mouth, typical teenage kid, he's going to run into Billy Badass who's going to beat his ass. And he'll learn, hopefully, from that, you know, not to shoot off the wrong people. And with cops, like I said, there's good cops and there's bad cops. And, you know, there needs to be national standards that all cops should follow, because all of them do not follow the rules at all. We all know that. But the ones who don't.
Oh, did you have a continuation on that? I understand, and I appreciate, and at the same time, I empathize. I was very detailed in my position on there. How it goes, and if you want to see that entirely, you just go ahead and watch that video. Let me see. I'll play one more. No.
69. That's too sucky. Bro.
Yeah, that's going to be, I appreciate that one. That was a late night one, man. Appreciate that. It's just next time.
Hello, sir. Yes.
Go ahead and let's have a conversation with I'm awake and have some pants on. I think I played this one last week really quickly. It looks like it. And I did not play this one.
Finished.
Wait a second. All right. I'm going to play this. And guys, I play your shit as is when you play it. The only thing I delete out is your phone numbers, but you want to, whoa. Okay, I'm just going to play this because I can see the transcript.
Hey, officer, I will call you an officer because me, you are a cop. I admire what you did, We need more people like you. What happened to policing? You know what? You got to get the corruption out first. That's where you start. And then, I live in Sacramento, California, and we had about a month ago, we had a service man who was flipping out, and instead of talking him down, Helen Keller could have done a better job. He's been big and twice in the head, basically killed him fast. My husband, fucking pig, get away with murder. That is literally with murder. That's what my wife did. And it's sad. Oh, yeah, it was bad. So, anyway, good luck on your crusade. My number is 916-561-9117. Feel free to call me anytime you want. I didn't get to finish. They're a bunch of fucking rapists, they're child molesters, and they got picked on when they were little boys and girls. Well, they're confused anyway because no one knows if they're a boy or a girl. Not that I have anything against it. It's just it. And I'm also pissed off because their little sisters' lips are bigger than their penises. So, anyway, happy trail. I hope you don't get blackballed out of the fucking market, man. I'll support you any way I can. Anyway, you take care. And be safe out there. And the big green message. No.
Wow. Seriously, thank you. Appreciate that. Good luck with your moonshine operation. And when Granny comes down to check on, make sure you wash behind your ears and she tickles your sack to make sure that you're growing up to be a good old boy that's going to be down on the farm of Cletus. Fuck, dude. Oh my God, shit and shove me. I'm saving that one. That was brilliant. Okay, do I have one more?
Hello, sir. Yes, Dominic. My name is Richard. I called before, and I'm sorry I probably made the other one too long. But anyways, I called about was letting you know about the Ashland County Sheriff's Department and stuff, and hopefully maybe you should do a show on them someday, because that's a police department that's contradiction in terms. But anyways, I just want to thank you for your content and keep it up and shedding light on this issue and hopefully you'll get to the bottom of it. And, well, I kind of wish you were still a cop, because at least maybe then you could even do more than what you're doing now as part of them. Maybe arrest a couple of them. But anyways, I thank you again, and keep it up. I'll keep watching. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I appreciate that, Richard. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Guys, if you have any questions, we're going to open up the phones in about as soon as I finish this segment here. Just send me a text if you want to have a conversation. Just say, hey, I got something I call, and then I'll call you back, because I've been blessed with being flooded with phone calls. So let us sit for a bit. We're going to go over this story for today, and then we'll open up and see what you guys have to have see what you say. This is making the rounds, and I want to talk about it. Florida, parents attack school resource deputy after son charged with battery. After the couple was informed of their son's charge, they pushed the officer into a wall, called her a slur, and punched her in the head and took her taser. Well, I mean, fuck, it's already a female officer. I didn't see this yet. I appreciate when you guys send me this information, and I try to watch in real time with some of the stuff, especially the live stuff with you. So I haven't seen this yet, but I mean, obviously, what's the point? It's a female officer. I mean, all you guys do is take selfies in your squad car and then in your bikini pictures, and you talk about how hard life is as a female police officer. Then go sell your supplements. Trust me, you're great to look at. You're crazy. Yes, female police are fucking crazy, but and do not be in a relationship with a female police officer. It will not bode well if you are a masculine man who believes in the sanctity of the roles of a man and woman. As I continue, Deltona, Florida, a couple upset over their son being charged with a battery at a local school is facing charges after they joined forces to attack a campus resource deputy, according to investigators. The hallway brawl occurred Tuesday, November 19th. At Deltona Middle School as the couple's sons looked on. The Volusia Sheriff's Office reported in a news release. Deltona is about 30 miles drive northeast from Orlando. Quote, the couple came to the school to protest their son's battery charge for shoving a girl at the school the day prior. When the father didn't like the outcome of the meeting, he became irate, started to scream at the deputy, and was asked to leave, the sheriff's office reported. Continuing with the quote, in the hallway, the mom pushed the deputy up against the wall, and then the dad punched the deputy in the head, knocked her to the ground, and ripped the taser from her hand. The deputy was able to stand up, draw her firearm, command the dad to drop the taser, and take him into custody. The parents were charged with battery to a law enforcement officer, resisting with violent disruption of school function, trespassing on school campus, the sheriff's office said. The boy's father faces an additional charge of armed robbery and grand theft for grabbing the taser, officials said. A hate crime was added to some of his charges due to derogatory slur he called the deputy just prior to attacking her. The couple's son was present for the entire incident. Well, now we know where he learned it. The deputy was taken to the hospital for treatment of concussion systems, what the mother, symptoms, officials said. Details of her conditions were not released. Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood, lauded the deputy for remaining calm during the violent attack that would have turned deadly. Right. All right, Sheriff Chitwood, let's take a look at what your sheriff should be praised and glorified over. All right, let's take a look at this together, and then let's break it down, shall we?
So I understand the frustration of the whole situation.
No idea, I'm sorry.
You have no idea. Okay, well, let's continue. Let's forget about the I'm sorry here, I'm sorry there. Let's go and take care of what we have to take care of.
What you can do is, like I was just explaining, when this process goes through court, you can explain your side of the story to the judge. It's ultimately going to be up to the judge what is going to happen from here on out. What I made a determination on is probable cause alone, which just means that he was the primary aggressor.
No,
being
she
that
was the primary aggressor
this isn't an
because she
argument.
was yelling at him.
Okay,
And that's
I'm gonna finish this
Okay, so
conversation.
you
if guys keep
fail
interrupting
a
me.
kid. Okay, that's okay. You are failing kids right here. We're not talking about us because believe me, if it were about the adults, we can solve this at all different levels.
So
we are talking about a kid that I'm
if you wanna
fooling.
speak
Now
with
I'm
my
telling you, I'm
you're not
talking
gonna raise
to
your
you.
voice at me.
Okay,
You're not
yes,
gonna
I
raise
am going to do. Guess
Okay.
what? Because I
You
paid you
guys are going to
salary.
leave.
Okay, what
You guys
happened
can
to
leave.
you?
You can leave.
Okay, why are you so
can't have-
worthless? Do you
have a
feel
conversation,
do
so
you
you need to
feel
leave.
proud that you are this worthless lady?
Okay, Jorge,
I'm
Do
gonna
you
tell
feel this proud
I'm
that you
going
are
to tell
this
you one more
worthless?
time
Shut
before
the
this
fuck
gets
up
to
because
end.
I paid
You
your
need to
salary,
leave.
you dumb
If you
bitch.
put your hand in my
Okay?
face, this is gonna
That's what
escalate.
happened. Look, what is gonna happen? What is
You
gonna
need to
happen?
You need to leave.
You are a worthless piece of
1
shit.
kilo, 40 seconds.
Yeah, call
Please
back
give me a
up.
second.
No wonder you
need to
no
leave.
one no
You need
wonder
to
you're
leave.
fucking dying.
You need to leave.
There's nothing that we can do, okay? But don't worry, we're gonna keep this high.
You need to leave.
You are
You put your hand in my
right
face
here.
one more time. We're gonna have a fucking issue. Don't do that. God fucking back now!
Mira tu hijo.
Dad, you gotta stop.
You're driving 1 minute. Put your hands behind your fucking back now!
Piensa en tu hijo.
Dad, please, thank you. Dad.
Central Kilo 47.
All right, let's break down some unpopular opinions, and I'm going to be very blunt with you. This is female police officer escalated. I don't care what you think about this, and let me explain why. Number one, we're going to break this down step by step. If a female cop was not present and you replaced it with a male, this would not have happened. This would not have happened. What I mean by escalating is just based on her gender, which gave all this guy the permission to think that he could get away with what he got. He put himself and everybody else into danger because of her inability to do the job. It's going to be sad. It's going to piss a lot of people off, but let's talk about it. So if we back this up, we have a conversation. Kid gets arrested at a school function for shoving another student that happens to be female. She starts to explain to them the process of the court now. She made her decision. She had all the discretion in the world. Parents don't like it. It's not an argument. For the first 30 seconds or minute, she does a good job explaining stuff.
Understand the frustration of the whole situation.
No idea, I'm
No,
sorry.
you have no idea. Okay, well, let's continue. Let's forget about the I'm sorry here, I'm sorry there.
Here's another thing that people aren't going to want to hear about, and I've been saying this for years. The area I worked in was 60% Hispanic. Now, if you don't know anything about culture and crime and how they're correlated, yeah, how many times have I talked about this? Oh, racial profiling. Racial profiling exists. Racial profiling is based off of facts for the culture and the crime that is being investigated. And the fact that we're denying it still to this day is a detriment for fucking law enforcement and the solve rate for the criminals to be put to justice. You're not going to look south side of Chicago, south of 290, 75th and Vincennes, and say, oh, we have a shooting. Oh, you know what? We need to look for a white guy. No, it's racist to look for a black guy. When it comes down to Hispanic men, and I talked about this in the NFL player that was arrested in Florida just a month or two ago, and you had that Cuban Latin machismo. If you don't know Latin men, they are phenomenal to deal with until they feel disrespected. And I don't care if they're 5'2", they will take on a guy who's 6'9", 300 pounds if they feel they're disrespected. The machismo in that culture is insane. Now, when you multiply that by them dealing with a woman, a female, he's naturally not going to respect her to begin with. You're asking a guy who's got a thick, heavy accent, who either he's from a neighborhood where he never left or he's not from America, immigrated over here, and you're going to ask him to kowtow to a female with authority when he probably runs his household with an iron fist. This is where I start to say, if a guy was in this situation and not a female cop, it wouldn't have gotten this far. But again, we need to have law enforcement diversified with DEI, with female fucking cops on scene, right? Let's continue.
Let's go and take care of what we have to take care of.
What you can do is, like I was just explaining, when this process goes through court, you can explain your side of the story to the judge. It's ultimately going to be up to the judge what is going to happen from here on out.
She does a great job. That's fine. That's fair. Some of these female officers can make great detectives. They can make great backups, but no, they can't make great backups. I'm telling you from experience. There should have been a male here. There should have been a male here to even at the idea of her eating crow, that she should have passed the authority to the male, because again, machismo, head of the household, all this shit just wasn't flying with him. This is a cultural issue, and he's not going to be embarrassed in front of his wife or son. He's not going to be disrespected. So what does he do? He amps the shit up.
What I made a determination on is probable cause alone, which just means that he was the primary aggressor,
No,
being
she
that
was the primary
this
aggressor
isn't an
because she was
argument.
yelling at him.
Okay,
And that's
I'm gonna finish this
Okay,
conversation.
so you
if you guys keep
you fail
interrupting
a
me.
kid. Okay, that's okay. You are failing kid.
So now he's agitated, and to be honest, if this is a female, she should have called for backup right here. She should have keyed up and said, send me another. If you hear that parent's voice, he went from calm to immediately escalated. End of story. Call for another fucking unit.
It's right here. We're not talking about us. Because believe me, if it were about the adults, we can solve this at all different levels.
So
we are talking about a kid that I'm
if you want to
40.
speak,
Now I'm telling you, I'm
you're not
talking
gonna raise
to
your
you.
voice at me.
Here he is. Now I'm telling you. I'm talking to you. And what does she say? Do not raise your voice at me. We have to take into effect with everything we process. Culture. Culture is huge. You wouldn't stick me. I spoke broken Spanish, Italian swear slangs. You wouldn't take me if I was a CPD and put me into Chinatown, would you? You wouldn't put me into Ukrainian village, would you? You wouldn't put me into a neighborhood that speaks Middle Eastern because I don't know the culture. And there's a big, heavy Hispanic Cuban culture in Florida. Why we don't have more people understand the culture, I don't know. But then again, too, that culture is pretty fucking shitty, as you saw those criminal cops who dealt with that NFL player.
Okay, yes, I am going to do. Guess what? Because I paid your salary. Okay, what happened to you? Okay, why are you so worthless? Do you feel?
Don't forget too, you got to be able to take this shit. It's free speech. You can say whatever you want. Why are you so worthless? Why are you a cunt? Why are you a piece of shit? Free speech. Free speech. Most cops out there can't handle that shit. And they base their citations or their arrest off of their fragile egos being fucking triggered. Her, fine. I mean, she's taken it well so far. I honestly think her heart's probably fucking racing a million beats per minute right now because this guy is taller than her, bigger than her, and she's got nothing. She goes down. What's she going to do? She's in a confined space with a guy who looks to be about, 6'1", 280. So she's screwed if something happens.
Do you feel proud that you are this worthless lady? Do you feel this proud that you are this worthless? Shut the fuck up because I paid your salary, you dumb bitch. Okay? That's what happened. Look, what is gonna happen? What is gonna happen?
You need to leave.
You are worthless.
As the kid starts yelling, and again, he's allowed to say all this. It doesn't mean you don't prepare, to be honest. And this is what I also mean about female escalating. If this is a guy, now I'm 5'7", I'm 230 pounds, I'm tactically trained, and yes, so 100% I could deal with this guy on my own. That being said, if the media had me in this scenario and this guy starts escalating it, and I start to say I was in terrible fear for my safety because this man aggressively started coming towards me, called me a dumb bitch, called me useless, and there was another subject, his wife there, and he takes a step towards me, and I pull out my pistol, and I empty my magazine into him, do you think that the media, or the command staff, the investigation would give me any breaks? The answer is 100% no. Now take that complete scenario, because they would say you shot an unarmed man. Now, keep in mind, I've been saying this for years. Unarmed does not mean not dangerous. Here's where the problem lies. That same scenario. No, I cannot articulate that a 6'1", 280-pound man aggressively stepped towards me, threatened me. Therefore, I was in danger of receiving a battery or receiving physical harm that could cause a death or permanent disfigurement. So I could use deadly force. But can she? I don't know how big she is or how small she is. What if she's 5'3" and 110 pounds? He steps to her balls or fist. If you take that same exact scenario, he steps, balls his fist, he goes to punch her. Can she use deadly force? Yeah. Society is going to 100% justify and be on her side and say, oh, of course. Me? No. You got to take care of it on your own. You got pepper spray. You got a taser. Why didn't you tase him? So you see what I mean? Is we automatically give females the pass on the street because of their inferior size, structure, musculature, endurance, you name all that shit. And we say that it's okay for them to use a higher escalated level of force just because they're female. Do you think that's fair? Because I sure as shit don't. I think that's fucking irresponsible. Let's continue.
Piece of shit. Yeah, call back up. No wonder you fucking died.
You need to leave.
Now at this point, they're leaving. You could say, stop right there and watch from the door. I will say from experience. No, there's a lot of times my ego took over. And if I told you, get the fuck out, I was walking you out to make sure you fucking left. It's not unlawful. But you have to ask. Now, did the 26-year-old me full of piss and vinegar love that? Oh, yeah. Did the 40-something-year-old me love it? I was like, dude, you fucking left. I don't care. If I was still a cop, I'd be like, I won the battle. Get out of here. Just go. Whatever. And my line was always, when somebody would say, you're a useless cunt or whatever, I go, that's okay. We both know what you are. And what do you mean? And I would escalate shit, just a little bit, little digs, personal little victories, but they're childish, they're immature, and they're unnecessary, and they do lead to escalation. Because again, too, every cop out there is looking for some reason to put you in handcuffs. Don't be the asshole I've been looking for all day. Should she have stayed there? Should she have just continued to follow them out? You're escorting 3 people out. That kid's not small. That kid looks like he doesn't miss a meal. So now she's got to deal with all 3. And now look, there's more people in the hallway as well too. You're just mitigating the damage that would have to be done on here. And embarrassment. After what we saw, she's going to be pretty fucking embarrassed. She couldn't handle her shit.
There's nothing that we can do, okay? But don't worry, we're gonna keep this high.
You need to leave.
You
put your hand in my face one more time.
So then the wife comes in, right? We see the wife comes in. Now, at first I thought for a second, if you look at it, does the wife think that the cop is going to take him into custody because she doesn't know and she's trying to separate, spare the broad from the guy? I'm like, maybe that's it. But then if you look, no, she jams her right into a wall. So you got fat bottom Betty right here, just comes right in, boom. And then next thing you know, it's chaos ensues. She's jamming her into a wall. So now all of a sudden, is this escalated by who? It's escalated by the female. She's just as responsible for use of force being escalated, which although the law only considers that the subject dictates the use of force, right? Because we're expecting the subjects to be level-headed, no emotion, no machismo, no intoxication or substances in their system that would alter their personalities. But we never take into account the cop, right? I've never seen use of force evaluated by a state's attorney. I said, oh, you threw him onto the ground and used handcuffs. I've never had a lawyer who was smart enough to ask, hey, officer, did you egg my client on? No. Really? I saw a video the other day that everybody's making fun of this black woman's in the back of a car. She goes, you didn't read me my Miranda rights. And the cop goes, yeah, I'll read them to you when you can spell Miranda. And everybody's like, yay, fucking yay, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Really? I get it, the job, and I did it for fucking almost 2 decades, and I'm going to tell you flat out, there's times where you want to goof around, times you fuck around with people, but if we're in a day and age where there's nothing that you could do that will gain the public trust, sans doing your job perfectly, then it's time to act on your entire best, most elevated, excellent behavior as a police officer. Do the job to the superbest, highest of standards until you're out of the fucking woodwork. I don't know what to tell you. But at this point now, you've got this cop who gets jammed into a wall. And then this guy's all pissed off because she's going hands on with his wife. You don't think he's going to defend what's his? That machismo. Now he punches her? Taser's out. She gets hit. She's on the fucking ground. Again, escalating. If this was a man of size, doesn't even need to be size, right? Squared away. You could have no fighting ability whatsoever, but as long as you look the part, it's called command presence. This guy did this for one reason, because he knew he could, and there wasn't a damn thing she could do about it. So now she's laying on her back. You don't think that this guy could just step on her fucking head and end her life right here? What does that do? Now 100%, she is beyond justified in this position to pull her pistol out and light this fucker up. Empty every round in him until the threat is eliminated. Problem is there's more people here. So now there's more people in danger. You think cops have a proficiency of 100% with their firearms, even at that training, with an adrenaline dump? Fine finger manipulation's gone out the window. You think she's going to jerk those rounds and they're going to go all over the place? Because a female was put in that position as a police officer to do the job that she couldn't do. And force had to be escalated because she was a police officer as a female. But he chose to. He chose to do it because he knew he could. But if you put a 6'1" guy in there, it was 200 pounds and lean, tailored uniform, shine boots, looked like he was fit, guarantee that guy would have thought fucking 2 or 3 times before he did anything. So again, do people not see the value of mitigating any type of damage or use of force from having females removed? It's an uncomfortable conversation that people need to have. She can't even get up. And the language is perfectly justifiable, what she says here.
Put it down right fucking now! Put it down right now!
Now you got line of fire. Who are you aiming at? Because remember, 4 rules of firearms. Keep your finger off the trigger. Or excuse me, all guns are always loaded. Keep your finger off the trigger. Never until you're ready to shoot. Never point your muzzle at anything you do not intend to destroy. Well, where's she pointing it at now? And keep your finger off the fucking trigger. So she's violating at least one of them. She's pointing her muzzle in between 2 people. Here's a third and a fourth. So this is what we call a soup sandwich.
Put your hands behind your fucking back! Put your hands behind your fucking back now!
Stop. Mira tu hijo. Dad, you gotta stop.
Put your hands behind your fucking back now!
Dad, please, thank you. Dad.
Central Kilo 47.
And he only was taken into custody because he wanted to. That's it, because he let her. And his machismo could have been up. Once you're at that point, too, it's like, damn, dude, you're at a position where it's just, there's a point of no return. It's a shitty situation. It's a righteous arrest. She had full authority to go ahead and use deadly force if necessary, because he escalated that position. But again, and I'll take your calls on this one, 708-982-0974. If you have something you want to say, send me a text message and I will call you in the order of received text messages. But this is one of those things where this is just more proof. Females should not be police officers at all. And I'm sorry that if people disagree with me on that.
Hello?
Yep, calling you back. What's going on?
What's going on? No, the caller that you had that was a little disoriented, he mentioned Helen Keller, and I started chuckling. So I was wanting your thoughts on Helen Keller because I don't think she's real.
Okay. Well, that's I appreciate your comment and your call, and well, there you go. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Well, no, I'm watching the female part of your, I'm a little behind, and I don't believe that females should be law enforcement officers. They put everybody in danger. I'm 5'3", 130 pounds. I couldn't take on a grown man. And when you see most female officers, they are tiny and petite because they think they look cute in the uniform. And they're really just putting their deputies and their partners in danger, in my belief.
It does suck. I used to teach defensive tactics classes for female officers, and we used to say all the time, we used to walk in and it's, hey, how many of you could take me into custody by yourself? And there maybe 1 or 2 would raise their hands. And that was the mentality they don't have. It should be every single one of you should have your hands spiked to the ceiling immediately saying, yes, I can. They don't have the mindset. They don't have the mindset. Very simple.
No. My uncle was a wrestling coach for years and years and years. So from the time I was 4 until all through high school, I was that maid. I was around wrestling. And, he taught me all the moves. He taught me how to defend myself, how to do things. And I can remember him. He never believed that females should wrestle, against the males. But he would embarrass the boys who weren't doing what they were supposed to do, who weren't making weight. And he'll say, do you need me to bring Joey in here to kick your ass? Because she can. And, I had that confidence then, but they would demolish me. He never let us wrestle, but he knew that if he put me on a mat with a boy, they would absolutely kill me,
Yeah.
even though I knew what I was
It's
doing.
a shit position. You have all the way thing from the biological center of gravity difference. Women's is lower than men's. And I am a wrestling coach, and I'm very public that I don't like the co-ed intermingling of wrestling. And the team I'm with now, we have 6 girls. And by themselves, they outwork the boys. So, I mean, I'm very impressed with them. But so, yeah, gender on gender is one thing, but this is law enforcement isn't gender on gender.
No, it's not. And male, regardless if the female is even bigger than him, they are built different. They are genetically different. They have more strength, period. But I'm kind of religious too, so I don't believe that women should be in a position of authority and decision making, such as president. I don't believe that women should preach and things of that nature because we're too emotional and it's just not how it should be. I think men should
It is what it is. I appreciate that. Thanks for the call.
Hey, you're welcome. Have a good day, Dom.
You too. All right, guys, if you guys have anything you want to add on this topic, you can text 708-982-0974. You see the number there. I will call you in the order of your text coming in. I don't care if you disagree with me. Have a conversation. What do you have to say? Over in the chat, Jen Reesing, I agree. Agree 100,000,000%. Female cops are a waste of taxpayer money. They're always a big bitch. They can't do anything without 20 male backups. We had Mr. Whisper. Thank you. I'm gonna comment on this. Women should not be cops against male subjects. They can't protect themselves or others without aid, just like you're about to see in this video. We had, I've worked with five female cops, and three of them I never had a problem with, never. And they were so good when they dealt with people. We had one female cop who was new. She didn't last that long in the bordering town next to me. And it was New Year's Eve. We had this big melee, 2:00 in the morning, like 12 people fighting in a ditch line. And there's like 15 of us show up there. We're trying to take everybody into custody. And we get back to the Sallyport. And we're all like, dude, this was a fucking shit show. And you get this dumb, broad female cop going, that was fucking awesome. I want to do this again. It's like, what did you do? What did you do? A, shut the fuck up because you're on a recorded line. And now the camera sees that you're celebrating actually having to take people into custody. And God forbid we actually had to use force that caused somebody injury in the process. You're enjoying it. And B, what did you do? The other ones, I had one that was very, the whole department couldn't stand, and she was infamous for saying, she was 100 pounds of body and 500 pounds of mouth, and she sat there and she would say anytime to somebody who was in custody, she'd go flat out, she goes, go ahead, piss me off, I'll have 5 other squad cars here in a second. And she used to brag every day. Nobody's got more resisting arrest charges than I do. And when I was new, because she was on for about 2 years before I was on, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Until I started to realize, wait a second, resisting arrest comes from the subjects, but what prompts that? Drunk, intoxicated, drugged up, adrenaline dump, something along the lines of that nature. But are you saying that maybe a female cop could piss off a fucking male offender and he could feel disrespected, mouthed off to, and then machismo kicks in? Remember, 60% Hispanic population where I worked. And he could fight, which gave her a charge up. So, yeah, she was a piece of human fucking garbage that escalated. And over the years, I've wondered how many people have suffered at the hands of a female cop who had complete short man's narcissist disease. And it doesn't mean that men don't have it. It's just that women always think they have something more to prove on the job. So what happens? Force is escalated, and somebody's life is always fucking ruined. It just is what it is. 708-982-0974. I'm good with calling it early if you guys got nothing to call in about. Let me look at some more chats. Terry Mack. Oh, Samuel, thank you. Have you heard about Lane Myers? Hang on. Have you heard about Lane Myers, who's destroying the DAs in Arizona? He did the depositions of New Mexico State Trooper. Is that a joke? Like Lane Myers, who's dating Beth, and he's going to skate the K-12? He's going to ski the K-12? Or is that way too ahead of your time? Savage Steve Holland film. His other film was One Crazy Summer. All right, let me hang on. Let's see. Hang on. I sent it. Hang on. Let me see if I can call you right here. Hang on. Let me collect this over. Yeah, you're live. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello.
Izzo.
Yeah, what's going on, man? You're live.
Hey, I'm Bo. How are you?
Awesome. What's going on?
Not too bad. I was started off watching your program a little while ago, and you started the segment or the show by reading the news article that was, I guess, on a website, I suppose.
Yeah, it was the news media that covered this video.
Yep, by the sheriff's report. So we got one side of the story. That's it. That's their narrative. Is that correct? Would you agree with that?
Of course.
Okay, so that's a culture, or not a culture problem. It's a problem that's been going on for quite some time. Would you find that being a problem to be able to just throw that on the public without having the other side being heard?
That's part of the problem I have with law enforcement. And to be completely honest, I don't have a solution for it. Right? So have you ever had a traffic citation?
It's been quite some time, but yes.
Did you go to court for it?
Once I did, two I didn't.
Did you see the machine that the judge was? Like automatic. Next, okay, 5013CB, speeding, okay, all right, $50. Did you see how automatic the judge was? Like no longer any humanity in it, doesn't care. Automatically the benefit of the doubt goes to the cop. Always. Yes. So apply that to everything else. You don't think your state or district attorney is automatically going to err on the side that the cop is 100% right and truthful and honest, and you're going to get the whole story from it? And again, there's never a time where the discussion is the attitude and the behavior of the cop. But we sure as fucking shit put that in every police report there is. Subject's attitude, subject's behavior, subject's language. But we never do the cop. Go ahead.
That brings me to a point, and you know this very well, Izzo. Cops are the most creative writers in the face of the earth.
The entire job is creative writing, correct?
Absolutely. So, when you read something like that, just somebody just plastered out there in the public, where's the other side? So, for instance, you've got this woman sitting in the office over there, and she's already made her mind up from what footage we can tell. We can, set a little bit of judgment, maybe a little bit, and go, where was the kid? Where was his story? We didn't hear that. All we heard was her version of it. And let's step back a minute and say, you know what? Do the female cops have a little bit of machismo as well?
A little bit.
She could have simply said to him, instead of you leave, I've explained myself professionally, profoundly, and I'm walking out of this room at this moment.
There's a million different angles to play for this, right? What if she had a bad day? Sure, she could have. Well, it was a bad day. She's tired of this kid. It's the 5th time he's done it. She's tired of all the kids, and she just.
So what?
She's been.
Like you said earlier, where's the coverage?
Example. Right, we don't have that. So you don't have, it's called the totality of the circumstances. Everybody will say, here's the two angles. Well, this is the system that we got, and then what's the other side of that coin? I've been hearing it for 20 fucking years. Well, cops just don't get the training they need. Why?
Are we going back to that? Are we going back to the training?
That's the excuse every day. Every day. Every day.
But some fucking common sense, though.
Oh, no. I had a professor in the academy, Zof, great friggin' guy, great lawyer, and he said if it was really common sense, it wouldn't be. It would. Let me paraphrase. It's not common sense, because not everybody knows it. So how can it be common sense? And it just made so much sense when he said it. I'm like, holy shit, you're right. It's not common. Common sense is not common.
Well, it should be, because the reason earlier you said, you know what, why is there no coverage of the good cops? Well, that's because of what they're supposed to do.
That's their job. That's their job. We had a cop who actually served the community righteously today. Why couldn't you serve that? Because they get paid to fucking do it. They swore the oath for it.
Well, it seems to me when that young lady sat down behind that desk right there and spoke to those family, or the husband and wife, or whatever the case may be, her mind was made up.
Yeah, and so we didn't get the beginning of it. And to be honest,
if you context, I agree.
You probably have the parents who are pissed off, called the principal. Principal set up a meeting. So she already knew that they were coming in to complain, so she had to take that hardline stand. I don't have any problem with how she dealt with the parents or communicated with them in the beginning or how she cut the conversation. But the problem is her presence alone as a female gave this guy all the permission in his mind he needed to do what he did. That's it. That's the only reason.
And I do agree with that. However, she could have handled it in a completely different situation. Like I said a moment ago.
She could have not been there. She could have said, this job is not for me.
First off, right. You got the cop ego. That could have been leveled down. That could have been brought down a bit. And then also, how about a little female machismo? Take that down a little bit too and go, you know what? Hey, I understand what you're going through. I understand the situation. What I'm simply going to do is tell you and advise you of what I've already advised you, and I'm going to quietly leave the room and go. Nothing after that would have ever fucking happened.
Yeah, they should just stick to Instagram and TikTok and wear their bikinis and sell their products and take selfies in the squad car. Hey, I appreciate your call. I got to get to some other people, though. But every point you're making, I agree with.
Thank you, Lou.
No problem, man. Guys, 708-982-0974. Jack, I want to get a hold of you here really quickly. You got something you want to say, send me a text message, and then I'll call you in the order of what we got you. But I love having these discussions.
Dom.
Jack,
wow.
hey, I appreciate that.
Buddy?
Hey, thank you, by the way, for the sponsorship over in the Super Chat. You ask, what's your question? I'll let you ask it.
I guess I just wonder, have you faced any serious backlash? I didn't even want to ask you this on the phone.
Go ahead. I don't mind.
You as well. But yeah, what kind of heat are you facing?
Cops hate me.
Have you been asked this question already?
Yeah. Cops fucking hate me, and I'll fucking flat out say it because I already did a video on it. The worst I got was Frank Sloop, who's Fridays with Frank, who I thought was a great guy. We have a falling out. We don't communicate anymore. Yeah. His broad, who was on some live PD, who's an active sheriff, and they're both underneath Mark. I can't remember his name. He's the sheriff of that county. They're both in, who flat out said
that came up about a month ago.
Mark Lamb. Yeah, Mark Lamb, who said that reason he became a cop is because he got to carry a gun and rough people up. I'm like, that's just, that whole fucking sheriff's office corrupt. Yeah, she threatened to expose my sex messages. I was like, okay. Yeah, I get cops who fucking.
That's always where they go.
Yeah, I get cops all the time who can't stand what I'm doing, and that's they always go personal attacks. They'll jump on my social media anonymously. No, you were fired. You were this. You were this. Shut the fuck up, cunt.
Yeah.
You still got to serve the man. I don't. Right.
Well, yeah, and then if you look at any, I'll tell you this: if you look at any questionable content, or you have in the last 5 years, I would say ditch your phone, ditch your IP, and all of that, because they will come at you with everything they can.
Please check out my porn search history. Diamond Jackson, I want to date with you.
I'm not shitting on you. I'm not shitting on you. I'm just saying, that's what they do. So I live in Canada mostly. I've got dual citizenship between Canada, and I live in Summerlin, Nevada. I actually just got it about a year and a half ago. And so I'm just a normal guy, really. But I have nothing to do with law enforcement. But I started getting involved in I started getting into the police audit and the 1A audits and whatnot that were happening in the U.S. And I ended up connecting with a couple different law firms in B.C. And we were starting to talk about constitutional rights and whatnot. And we ended up authoring a 189-page kind of a police accountability report. It took us the better part of 2 years to put together, but it's fucking fantastic if you ever want to read it.
Send me if you ever want to come on and talk about it, we'll do a podcast episode on it. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm hey, I don't have a following, or I don't really do this.
I don't mind. Who cares?
But I'll tell you what, your content. The first time I saw you, you were on something, and I think I lit you up pretty good. And then about an hour later, in the same interview, I went back and I commented. I was like, I just want to apologize for the fucking shitty words I said about you.
It's not what I say. It's not what I say. It's how I say it. I'm loud. I'm Italian. People can't stand the way I talk about it. It's just, and that just, it pisses people off. I love law enforcement. I love cops. But the problem is we have a shit corrupt system, and it's not getting any better.
Yes.
So I will say flat out, you guys suck. So I coach wrestling, and it's so different now than it was when I was a competitive wrestler. You can't go to these kids and go, "You're a piece of shit, work harder." You can't do that today. And that's the same thing with these cops out there. You can't look and go, it's got back the blue. It's like, what? You don't know what the job is like.
But we just don't. The structure is wrong, right? Like policing for profit is wrong.
That's
a tough thing. And hey, man, every cop, I would say 99% of cops that get into the business, and hey, like I am very anti, but as much a pro police officer as I am the other way. And this is my whole spiel. Every police officer that joins, I want to say 99% comes in for a good reason. And when they come in, they get introduced to a world they didn't have a fucking clue that was coming. And they're just like, oh shit, okay. Like this is how we're doing things. This is really how we're supposed to do it. And also my field training officer, who's supposed to be the guy showing me the right way to do things, is showing me the correct way to do things.
Oh.
All of a sudden now I'm into a conspiracy myself.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it. I get that.
These kids, they're in a situation where before they know it, they're covering as well because they're just part of the boys. They're young guys.
It's a good old boys club. Well, when you get that addiction of power, 100%, it's 100%. You get addicted. I can't tell you what it's like to be in your 20s with a badge, walking into a man whose home is he's 55 and his wife, and you tell him, sit the fuck down. This is my house now until my investigation's over. The power is addicting.
I know
power is incredible.
I know even video you're referencing when you say that to like.
There's many, and there's including myself.
No, I know.
Including myself. That was my thing. I can't tell you how many people back down. You walk in, 911, exigent circumstance, domestic, fighting. You have every lawful right to be in there. Sir, sit the fuck down. This is my house until I'm done. Oh, and watching people it's an ego feel like crazy. I appreciate your call. I appreciate the support of the channel. I got to call some other people, and but just thanks again. I appreciate that.
Oh, if you want to give me 2 minutes, I can tell you the craziest police call of my life.
Go ahead.
2 weeks ago.
Go ahead.
And it's part of what this is. It's part of this whole thing. So I've been obviously activated and going against the RCMP in Canada. Well, guess who showed up to my house 2 weeks ago in numbers? I was having a nap. My kids, thank God my kids were at my ex's place. I hear the bang, bang, bang. I'm having a nap. It's 10 a.m. in the morning. And I hear the bang. I'm like, that sounds like cops. There's no reason why they'd be here. And then I started hearing the bang, bang, bangs again. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm wearing just shorts. So I come down in shorts with a T-shirt, like half on. Well, they're at my fucking front door windows, guns drawn, going, let us. And I'm like, oh shit, I've got a shirt over my hand. You guys, I'm a good person. Don't. And like, I'm just like, oh my God, what is going to fucking happen here? The one guy actually took control. He was super cool. I'll say this. The RCMP, I think they are a little bit better trained than they are in the U.S. overall, and maybe I'm wrong about that. One guy just fucking told everybody else to shut up, took control, and I was like, listen, man, I don't know what you're here for. I'm a good person. Like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, we're coming in no matter what. We got a call that's going to let us in your house. I'm like, okay, well, what's the call? They go, shots fired in the home, people screaming.
Yeah, if that's the case, it would have kept the door in.
Well, so, yeah, well, no. So and I'm standing in front of the window, right in front of them, and I'm like, okay, so you are coming in no matter what? Like, if I'm opening this door, and I got to move around this stupid little fucking pony wall type thing. I'm like, bro, I'm a good guy. Please don't come in and beat the shit out of me, okay? Like, if you're coming in no matter what, I'll open the door. If not, like, what are we doing here? And he's like, we're going to kick the fucking door, and we have, whatever he said, like, reasonable fucking, they call it something different in Canada. It's reasonable grounds to believe and reasonable grounds to suspect. So I'm like, okay, I'll open the door. They come through the fucking door. I get hit with a rifle barrel right in the fucking top of the forehead. that was
your first mistake. So you learned a valuable lesson. Shut the fuck up. Don't talk to police. Yeah, you learned a valuable lesson.
Know what, man? No, I've met with them a few times since. They were coming in. Somebody did give a call, and I like It's a neighbor.
Yeah, but if they have no witness, if they have no, I don't know. I would not. I would not be willing to do that. I have to look and I'd have to observe and I have to see if there's any blood or people screaming. So I don't know. But yeah, you learned. Do not talk to cops under any circumstances whatsoever. So I appreciate that.
I didn't right open the door, but yeah,
I appreciate that. I
do lead it all back to the shit I'm working on.
There you go. All right, I appreciate that. We'll talk to you another time.
All right. Cheers, buddy.
All right. I want to get to another one who called. Guys, you got something you want to say? Send me a text message, 708-982-0974. Let me get to this one, 580, giving you a call back.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? I sorry I missed your call. We're still live. I figured instead of just playing your voicemail, I'd let you call and talk about what you're talking about. What's going on?
All right, cool. Well, I was wondering that it's like the sheriffs and it's like the city police. I live out in like rural Oklahoma, so like every time there's like it seems like an altercation, not an altercation necessarily, but whenever the police they show up, if they got their eyes pinned on one individual is like, this is the guy that we don't like right now. It always seems like they immediately go to trespassing them, whether it's from a person's place or property. That's like always the first. They try to like, what do you call it? Kind of provoke the trespass. Why do they do that other than just so the next time they can just arrest them without having to?
Yeah, that's how trespass works. It's like if you're in a location, you go to a Walmart, and Walmart doesn't want you there. If you're not causing a disturbance, and I can't arrest you on disorderly conduct, I can't arrest you on criminal trespass to property because you haven't been advised that the next time you show up, it's criminal. You're just an unwanted subject at that time, right? Walmart calls, unwanted subject, that's fine. There's no real crime against being an unwanted subject. We come in, hey, sir, do me a favor. Walmart doesn't want you here. Can you go, please? And then, yeah, if you're like, no, fuck this place. Now I'm going to sit there and look at somebody and say, hey, are you alarmed and disturbed at his action? Because still, fuck this place yelling, that's free speech. You can't. I can't arrest you. I'm not alarmed and disturbed. But what if a mother of two is right there? Oh, I'm alarmed and disturbed. I go, are you willing to sign a complaint? Yes, I am. Will you show up to court? Yes, I am. Now it's a bullshit charge. Click, clack. You go into cuffs, and then I pull you up. But my first contact with you is to say, hey, listen, you got to go. And Walmart says if in the next 60 days you set foot, they're going to give you a 60-day grace period. You show up between now and then, I got to arrest you. It's no question. If I show up and you leave, I'm getting a warrant for your arrest for criminal trespass to property. So that's how that works.
Well, so is every trespass, do they have to have is there a time limit that's always going to be like accepted as in like, or do they even have to let you be aware of any of that?
It's what the business wants. So it's whatever the business wants. It's not, and if if it goes so far in front of a judge, and the judge will set a time, 2 years or something. I don't know. It's the law enforcement. To my knowledge, cops have no bearing over how long they can set you for. You can't show up to a place. No.
Right. Well, I've never seen. There's never ever been any like. I don't know. There's maybe a report written after they go back to the office or whatever. But I never see anything where a person signs a document so they can say, hey, this asshole signed this knowing that we told him he can't be here. It's always just been, do you want this guy to
I wouldn't sign shit. I wouldn't sign shit if cops are like, hey, listen, sign this, acknowledging that you're not to come back here. I'd be like, is it lawful? Are you going to arrest me if I don't sign that? No, don't sign it. Don't sign shit. And that comes in the
I've
whole.
I've never seen them.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
No, I haven't either.
Okay. I just wondered if that was just a way, because like, how do you know that, like, if you never make contact, like if they go into Walmart, like you said, with the Walmart scenario, like how do you know that cop or that officer, you take them for their word that they went in there and the people inside said, get him the hell out of here.
Goes back to the,
you can go inside and talk.
Goes back to that first caller that we had. It's, you're always erring on the side of caution with the police. So yeah. I get that.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, man, I didn't expect you to call me back. That was cool. I appreciate it. I've been watching you for a little bit, and I appreciate the information. I do.
Thank you. Hope you support the channel, share the videos, and get other people to take a look at it.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man. Call back again. And over in the chat to acknowledge that, yeah, Sir Fifth says cops illegally demand ID when they give a trespassing warning. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, at what point? Well, there's a way around it, right? There's a way around it. So my chief was big. Get everybody's ID. Run everybody. And we had something called gang contact back when we had the quota system, which was a performance evaluation. So a gang contact was worth like 4 points or whatever. And let me explain to you how police harassment is. Because I know maybe some of you don't want gang members in your town, and there's nothing illegal. You could be legally a gang member. There's no law against it. But how it worked with our town is we had a very heavy saturated gang population from everybody who came up from Chicago and Milwaukee, came to our area, and they were shitheads, this and that. But we would stop them. So let me paint the scenario, and you could tell me in your head if you think this is an unlawful seizure or whatnot. We would stop you, pat you down, not search you, pat you down. There's a difference. We would check you for weapons, and then we would run your information, get your name and date of birth, or get your ID, run you, do a warrant check, take your picture, and send you on your way. That was the entire process, my entire career as a cop. Yeah. It wasn't until I told that to a state's attorney. The state's attorney said, "You do what?" I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Holy fuck." Well, here's how we got around the unlawful seizure. Right? We didn't have sidewalks in our town, and we barely had any fucking street lamps. So we'd black out our squads driving up and down the streets. And a lot of times in the town I worked for, you're talking 2-bedroom homes with 5 fucking people living in them, no central AC, just window units maybe. So crowded homes, and you had 24-hour fucking liquor stores. Well, not 24-hour convenience stores, but liquor stores too, right? So you get people, but like, fuck this, dude. I'm walking to the liquor store, getting a pack of smokes or something. So if they're not walking on sidewalks, they're walking where? In the street. And because it's dark out and they don't want to fall in the ditch line, they're walking where? Closer to the center of the middle of the street than they would the shoulder, because it's safer. And what would we do? Suncom, I'm out with 1 for obstructed roadway, pedestrian in the roadway. Right there. That's a state charge. And you pull them over, and you stop them, pat them down for weapons. How to get around. Now you could, it would be a stretch at that point, talking about the seizure, you know. I mean, because unless you're going to write them a ticket, a state fucking ticket for pedestrian roadway, any judge is going to laugh at you. Officer Izzo, you stopped this man walking on a summer night. He was completely sober, not intoxicated, and he was walking in the roadway because you have no sidewalks, and you gave him a ticket, and you were the only car on the road with your lights blacked out at 2 o'clock in the morning? Yes, Your Honor. Get the fuck out of here. So we didn't do that. But what we do is say, to get your ID, here's what I say, "You got your ID on you by chance?" So I didn't order you. I'm going to do it again. "Hey, you got your ID on you by chance?" Right there. Right there. "No, I don't." What's your name and date of birth again? Smith, John A. March 20th, 1985. I asked you. You didn't fucking seize you. I didn't demand that you give me your ID. Do you see how these things work? Because again, too, this was my always thought was shit. I always thought that you had to treat everybody with respect, because that shitbag that maybe I harass one day, what the fuck happens if I have a heart attack or I'm laying in the middle of the road bleeding and I can't get to my mic, and he just walks up and goes, "Should have been nicer to me," and he walks away. I thought like that. That's just how I thought. I was hard when I needed to be hard, and I was a citizen when I needed to be a citizen. It's as simple as that. Let's see, take one more here. 630, calling you because you text.
Hi, this is Scott Becker. You reached my cell phone.
No, we just call. Let's try it again, Scott. Because I want to hear your question. Oh, call. Give me a call. Scott's got a great question. Let's see if he calls in. Otherwise, I'll check that out. Let me get my glasses. Guys, we do this every Wednesday. For those who are just watching for the first time, 9 p.m. Eastern here. YouTube. It's on Twitter. It's on Rumble. It's on Spreely TV. I have a ton of videos on the Officer Dominic Izzo channel on YouTube that do police breakdowns all the way from George Floyd to you name it. It's as simple as that. But check out our channel and support it. Hey, sorry, I wanted to make sure you got a chance to ask your question. You're live. What's going on?
Hey, yeah, like I said, my son's girlfriend is a Chicago, not a Chicago, but a copper. And like I say, she's a great girl, but she's tiny. And I'm concerned that one day she's going to face some dude who's 200, 300 pounds, and she's going to cap him. And the next thing we know, she's on blast by the media and getting convicted or getting prosecuted, convicted. And that's just my main concern. So I just want to know your thoughts.
That's her choice for doing it. The state still allows it. Is what it is. And clearly you're 6'3", so you're my area. Tell me what suburb so I don't friggin' go to that suburb. That's as simple as that.
It's out of this area.
Okay. No, 94, I mean, 100. My one of my exes from a long time ago was a female cop, and she was a stripper before she was a cop. And I'm like, who the fuck takes you seriously with your tan and your blonde hair and your fake tits and all that? And she ultimately wound up quitting, but I'm like, who takes you seriously? And then the other question is this: can you take me into custody by yourself? If the answer is no, you shouldn't be a cop. Sorry. Well, I remember I wanted to be a cop when I was a kid, like 13, 14 years old. My mother goes, it'll never happen. I go, why? They have a height requirement. You got to be a minimum of 5'8". Well, thank God they got rid of that in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm 5'7" on my best day. So, sometimes it's like bring back, we keep making things easier for diversity hires and sensitivity instead of actually perfecting the craft and actually giving the cops the job they need, incentivizing the old guys to stay longer because they've got the wisdom on them. And we keep hiring on these eager to have it's not eager to serve, it's an eager to have a badge so they can go online with their TikToks and their Instagrams and show off their fucking badge and their squad car for clout. That's all it is. This generation of cops are dangerous.
Yeah, that's not what I see with this girl. I think she has just a good heart, and she wanted to be in law enforcement. So,
for what purpose?
Let's not. Yeah, well,
for what purpose?
Okay. I just want to know your thoughts. I don't want to debate you.
No, that's fine. If her purpose is not to serve the community at the fullest capability of her professional excellence, then get the fuck out. That should be it. Not this whole, well, I want to make a difference and arrest the bad guys. No, the job sometimes is driving around bored off your ass for months, never taking a call, and understanding that if somebody calls and says, can you help me with my garbage? You help them with their garbage. And if that's not what they want, then that's what the job is.
But really, my question was more about what to do when, like I say, if she gets on blast because there's some guy that she needs to, that she needs to take out because she's small, he's large, and the media says, and all of a sudden she's on blast in the media. What do you think about that?
Well, I'll rephrase the question to you. If you had a female in your town that was 100 pounds soaking wet, and it was a choice between her and a 6'2" guy who's 200 pounds, and the day comes where this woman faces a guy some guy who's 280 pounds, he's drunk, he's on meds, whatever the case is, he's unarmed, and he attacks her, but because she's 100 pounds, she shoots and kills him. Do you hold the city liable at all for choosing the lesser of the two police officers in stature and size because the other guy probably could have survived a lot easier?
No.
Why not?
Why would I not hold the city liable for not hiring a larger person?
Yeah.
Because in that specific situation, it is completely justified for that smaller person who's being attacked to take whatever actions are required.
And if there wasn't a smaller person to begin with, that guy would still be alive.
Yeah, now we're getting into hypotheticals.
Which is why you need men only, certain height, period. End of story. You do that,
Thank
and
you
then
for your input.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Appreciate the
Have a
call.
good night.
That's the point. People want to sit there and they want to dumb this down. You want fucking female police officers on what? To make somebody's good, they feel good? When somebody else who's in this, anybody who has ever resist the police, fights the police, shoots at the police, you can guarantee it's some sort of mental health issue. Drugs, and no rational human being does it. It's fucking mental health. Now, if you have somebody who's already impaired, I don't care if they're stoned, they're coked out, they're whatever designer drug on the street rotted their brain, they're drunk, they're overly emotional, they're combative, they have that machismo from their culture. You send a female in because you want to be diverse. Well, now, yeah, she's justified in killing that person if need be. So then you're liable. If the police have an option to sit there and take a guy who's bigger, stronger, faster versus a weaker female, then you say, well, we're going to give you more permission to kill someone, then that's an easily solvable fucking problem. Don't hire females. Pretty fucking cut and dry to me. But that needs to be a standard across the board then too, because then physical fitness needs to come into play, because the majority of you men are fat fucking slobs who you go 30 seconds hands on with somebody, then what happens? You're out of breath. Can't take them into custody. So what do? You escalate to a baton. You escalate to OC. You escalate to fucking taser or pistol. When maybe if you tailored your uniform, you shined your boots, you showed up, you knew what the job was, you had a decent haircut, you looked like you were fit, and you said, hey, sir, do me a favor, put your hands behind your back. That guy would go, all right, I'm not fucking around to find out. The only reason these guys ever sit there and challenge a cop is because they take one look at him, and you know damn well when you can eat somebody alive, they're like, you ain't got anything. You're not it. You're not it. And sadly, we have 21-year-olds on our street today who you know, several of you know it. You think a 21-year-old's going to show up to your home because your neighbors heard loud fucking music and arguing and was on the TV, and all of a sudden they thought there was a domestic, so cops show up and they have probable cause to come into your home, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? My wife and I aren't doing anything. Sorry, sir, step back. You're 55. Your wife is 55. You guys have been married for 20 years. And that cop comes in to tell you what to do, like they know, and they're 21. What do they know about life? It's a big fucking joke, and this is a main reason why I think female police officers, and you shitty out of shape male cops, which are a majority of them, are detriment to the culture. All right, Jamal, let's close out with you. What do you got?
Got you, brother. Very simple. The gentleman who just called in. Simple logic from the correctional standpoint. So we had equal or lesser, and I explain this to people. Punch for a punch, weapon for a weapon, blow for a blow. You can't accelerate past that. If, like you said, a 6'5", 300-pound guy goes at a 120-pound female officer, she couldn't operate under those same rules. It's not the same. It doesn't qualify. In reverse, if you and I were, let's say, corrections officers at a female facility, we go to restrain a 120-pound woman, we cannot treat her the same way as a 6'5", 300-pound man in corrections. It's not the same, and people don't get it. A female officer at 100 pounds doesn't get a free pass to shoot the 6'5", 300-pound meth head. Just can't do it.
Yeah, we saw, what about 2 months ago when I did the video on the, I can't remember what county, female cop who pulls a guy over for speeding, and it's a 6-minute fight where he gets the taser, and ultimately she pulls her pistol and shoots him and grazes his ear, and he surrenders. 6 fucking minutes. female by herself. And you see tons of people in the comment section. Oh, you shouldn't have fucked around and find out. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Dude, if that was a guy, you think it would have been a 6-minute fucking fight?
Absolutely not. And people just don't get that. You have to be able to take a punch. In correction, 6 minutes. That's the body alarm.
God.
That's a hope and a prayer that somebody gets there. It's a drag out fight.
I can't imagine corrections, which I think every cop should start in. I never was in
Agreed.
corrections. Every cop should start there because the day you're faced 100 to 1 and you're the one and you have no fucking weapons and you better realize how far a kind word and respect goes even to those fucking criminals, your life changes.
Right. We call it IPC skills. Literally it translates, you have to have your mouth. My training officer in the academy, my lieutenant, he comes from law enforcement background. His dad, his brother was a cop, brother-in-law. And he said one day they're shooting the shit at a barbecue and he got irate. He said, you guys going every day with a fucking bat belt, batarangs, everything. I have keys and a body alarm. We don't carry spray. The yard officers carry spray. I was a counselor, but my office was on the block. I mean, 90 guys each side every day, walking around, shooting the shit. I can talk a polar bear into ice. I can sell salt to a snail. Cops need to have that same level of treatment, or at least go by equal or lesser. You can't pull your gun because you're scared that a bigger guy is going to get to you. And
That's how it is.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Yes,
that,
sir.
Jamal. Thanks a lot. He's right. He's right, and that's how it is. I'm done ragging on it. I just don't think females should be cops. It's too much of a liability. I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule, but it doesn't disprove the rule. And it's always the same thing. Well, what about the guy cops out there? I could pull up half a dozen videos right now of fat, out of shape male cops or weak, out of shape male cops. It's horrible. We do not have standards. Ultimately speaking, and this is my position if you're new to this channel, this is the only job. It's not like Starbucks where the on-the-job training doesn't really affect somebody. If you screw up a caramel frappe, half skim, no foam latte, yeah, you may inconvenience that person 5 minutes of their day. Maybe you add and attribute to the customer's mood being wrong, right? Maybe at the worst, you get it, they drink it, they have an allergic reaction, something's wrong. This is the only job, on-the-job training that I can think of where you are released on your own after months with a badge and a gun and the authority to take away someone's freedom and or life on a daily basis. And you can criminally charge them. I tell the story all the time about the mistake I made that opened up my eyes. I pulled a man over. I arrested him for no valid driver's license, towed his car. No big deal. Yeah, his driver's license was expired for 6 months. He was in his 60s. He just didn't notice it. So how many hundreds of dollars did I cost that man in tow fees and court fees simply because a man who'd been driving vehicles longer than I've been alive forgot to renew his driver's license? And that was my on-the-job training. I did it, and I went months and months and months later, I went, holy shit, why did I do that? Because I learned from it, training, right? So I never did it again. I exercised discretion better. But one man had to pay a pretty hefty fucking price because of my actions. And he probably hated cops for God knows how long. I've got a lot of stories like that, and it is what it is. But when it comes down to it, I think that out of all the professions out there, police officers need to hold themselves to the highest standards possible. And we said that in the academy, and it turned out to be a fucking joke. It was a lie. You went out there to get the badge, the gun, the girls, speed where you want to, get into clubs with that badge without paying a cover, fucking live the high life, secure job, pension, benefits, all this shit. And you never thought about the fact that you actually were a civil servant that worked for people. And all of a sudden, maybe take your training seriously. Know the vehicle code. Know the state statutes. Know the Constitution inside and out. Again, I say this all the time. I was the only cop to pass with a 100% perfect score a Fourth Amendment search and seizure class, a 40-hour class taught by a former Secret Service officer. And he congratulated me. Out of 40 people, lieutenants and sergeants and patrol officers, you were the only one to get 100%. And my cop buddy, who saw me bragging about it, said, that's fucking disgusting. Every single cop in that class should have gotten 100%. And I went, holy shit, you're right. Why do we do pass or fail at the range in a static environment? Should be 100% accurate or you're not a fucking cop. Should know the law or you're not a fucking cop. But then the public goes, no, then we have to pay them more. Good. Maybe we need to reevaluate this profession and stop paying our professional athletes all that fucking money, whatever the case is. Well, no, nobody would want to be a cop if you had to, and this is my favorite, nobody would want to be a cop if you raise those expectations that high. Just by saying that admits how broken the fucking system is. So, welcome to the channel if you're new. Buy my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. It's available at wordsmatterpublishing.com and amazon.com. It's forwarded by Sheriff Joe Arpaio. You can go ahead and support the channel. There's a link in the comment or in the description. Cop Talk Live on PayPal. We're 100% viewer funded. YouTube likes to wind up censoring the videos for 18 plus because of the content that I put on here. It's of a violent nature, sadly. And remember that my standards, my hope is that some cop out there, I don't give a shit if fucking 99% of them hate me, and they fucking do. It's that one out there who's going to go, you know what? I am going to take this as a serious profession. I'm going to treat it with care. I'm going to learn the Constitution. I'm going to learn that, yeah, people suck on a daily basis and they fucking hate me all the time, but it's my job to do the job better than anybody else out there. So I'm going to actually give a rat shit, knowing that if you spend 25 or 30 years in the job, it's going to suck. Your health is going to suck. The command staff hates you. They're going to have target on your back like crazy. Your relationship will suffer. Fucking your life will turn to shit. You'll retire, lose your identity and all that crap. But that's exactly what you signed up for. That's to make that damn bit of difference in becoming the absolute highest and best version of yourself to serve others. Guys, welcome to the channel. If you're brand new, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. You can send any question you have to officerdominicizzo@gmail.com or text, call, voice note, voicemail to 708-982-0974. You guys have a great damn night. Be safe out there, and I'll see you on the next video.